Hello and welcome to the Frost Seymour experience. I am clearly Paul Seymour. I'm on my own currently. I am still awaiting my broadcast partner to kind of join me. So we just thought we'd go live and we will check out Euro 2021, the big preview. Just a quick one. Obviously, the tournament is coming up tomorrow. It does start tomorrow. The first match is Turkey versus Italy. It's being played in Rome. This is the first Euros that I know that has been played around all of Europe. Years ago, I remember saying, like, how come, these Euros or the World Cup isn't played parts of Europe and around the world and so on and so forth. I guess I was told that, it's going to cost too much or it's going to cause them inconvenience and travel issues and so on and so forth. So now my dream has come true, very much like the Super League, but obviously that wasn't a dream that had come true. That was just something I thought I wanted as a youngster. But we're going to talk about the tournament real quick. Obviously, when my broadcast partner does catch up with me, hopefully very soon, I shall ride solo for a little bit. Okay, so obviously we are looking at the predictor. What we're going to do today is we were going to go through the predictions together in terms of how the teams will play out in the group stage. I think a lot of you might have seen this already, so I was going to quickly show you what we're going to be doing. So obviously these are the groups. There is 6 groups from A to F. Each group's got 4 teams in it, of course. Now what they do is, if you got your all 4 teams, obviously will play out and obviously get top 4. So the first 2 will go through, not a problem. They usually they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to tend to go like 1 versus 2nd of each groups. But as the last Euros, if you remember back in 2016, 5 years ago now, wow, you get the four best third place teams. I get my words out. Obviously, which is the knockout stage as well. So if you got a team that's say maybe Germany, let's just say Group F for example, you got Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. That's a big group, huge group. And I hope for Hungary's sake they're ready. Because Hungary are gonna suffer inaccurately, but you never know. They might change it. They might do really well. But if you've got France, Germany, and Portugal, 3 very strong teams in there. You got French World Cup champions, Germany, the former World Cup champions from not too far away ago, and you got Portugal, of course, who are currently European champions. So that's going to be a big group. But let's just say, all 3 of them beat each other. Yeah, and Hungary are like, the whipping boys, if you will, of that group, and they get put down into 4th. They would then, it depends really how the other teams perform in their groups, because obviously if Germany win, France win, Portugal win against each other to have a win each, it's going to be difficult to choose out of that. Some of them, they might not even qualify, because you could have, like, say, Group E, Spain, say, wins, Sweden come, 2nd, and Poland come 3rd. But if Poland have a good run out and they do well and they beat the big teams, then of course, then Poland would have to be part of the thing. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. I haven't heard anything from my broadcast partner, so I'm still waiting to hear. I'm sure I'll hear something very soon, but we are live, so, we will continue going forward. And I've just had a message, so we are just, he's on his way. So we should wait further. Okay, so he's having internet problems. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but obviously don't worry, Nick. When you get on, we'll look after you. Here we go. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go with the predictions. Now, obviously, we were going to decide to, maybe I make the prediction in my group and then compare it to his, or vice versa. But we decided what we're going to do is we're going to discuss them together. So I think that's an ideal way of doing it, because a lot of people have their opinion and stuff. I think with me and Nick, we're going to talk about this and decide who we think. It might cause a bit of debate, which is good. Debate is healthy, as long as it's not offensive. It'd be fine. So we're just going to be kind of hang out for that. So while I'm waiting for my broadcast partner, it's obviously the end of the Premier League season has happened. A lot of transfers are going through right now. A lot of I just heard that Gini Wijnaldum has moved from Liverpool. He's actually on his way to PSG, which was a shock. The other day I seen a massive salary come up, which blew my mind. I think he's offering like double of what Barcelona are going to offer him. And don't get me wrong, footballers' wages are huge as he is. I mean, my goodness, I mean, they earn more in 1 week than when I do in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So obviously the PSG is a surprise. Anyway, forget talking about Gini Wijnaldum. Love the guy, but obviously he's gone to PSG. We're going to add Frostinho into the mix. Let's see. Let's get him in. All right, here we go. Here he is.
Apologies. It was the dreaded technical issues.
Ah, yes, the old technical issues. You know what? I had a feeling something might have been up, but then obviously, 9 o'clock is thing. So I've gone live. I talked a bunch of nonsense, but hopefully I've kept everyone happy. But here you are. Welcome.
Thank you. How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Not too bad. Long day at work, but I'm finally up and running. How about yourself?
I'm excited, mate. The Euros are upon us. Very excited.
They are. Yeah, we've waited long enough, haven't we?
Yeah,
so here we go. Here's the thing. So I was just explaining to the viewers, obviously, how we're going to do this. We've got the predictor just above our heads. Well, I don't know how you can see it. If you can see my screen, of course. So you got the teams here. We just pick the groups, basically. And then we choose the best third place teams who we think are going to get through. And then it auto sorts everything else. So we'll go through there. So without further ado, let's do it. So let's have a look at Group A. We got Switzerland, Turkey, Wales, and Italy. So first of all, who do you think is going to be group winners?
Well, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? It's going to be Italy's group, and then it's going to be a fight for second between the other three, who I think are probably pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I agree. So I can agree with you on Italy. So I would definitely put Italy into first place. I think that's going to be the case. Obviously, then you've got Wales, Turkey, Switzerland. Again, you could pick any three. I think Wales, after the last Euros, they turned out really well. Hopefully, if they can keep that momentum. I know it's been 5 years, but they got a pretty decent team. I'd predict that Wales get second.
I'd agree with that.
I'm going for that. Cool. Yeah. We'll go for that. So far so good, guys. There's no arguing yet. So you got third place, obviously Turkey and Switzerland. So Turkey obviously used to be a heck of a force back in the early 2000s. I'm not kept up with how they're doing now, but obviously Switzerland have got some good players in there as well, of course. So what would you say for third? It could be any one of them, to be fair.
I'd say currently Switzerland are the stronger team.
Out of the two,
I think Italy first and Turkey probably last in this group is pretty much nailed on.
Okay.
I reckon it'd be really close between Wales and Switzerland for second.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I agree. I think that group there is pretty much how it's going to weigh out. But yeah, I'm happy to move on. So yeah, so Group B, we have Russia, Belgium, Denmark, and Finland. Now, personally, I think Belgium will win this one.
I couldn't agree with you more. Belgium, in terms of the big favourites, obviously they're one of the heavy hitters. They've got by far and away on paper the easiest group.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, Russia, they did start off well in the World Cup, of course, last season. Not 2018, sorry, what am I on about? So obviously, will they carry that momentum going forward into this Euros?
Well, Finland also did very well, didn't they? Who can forget that famous win over England?
Yeah.
And that was, But, on paper, they're probably the weakest team in the group, but they were on paper probably the weakest team last time as well, and look what happened.
That's true. And obviously, don't forget Denmark. Denmark are up and down. You can have a great Denmark team, then you can sometimes have a weak Denmark team. So, I mean, for me personally, Nick, feel free to jump in and disagree with me, but I think it's going to be second, I think, Russia, third, Finland, and then fourth, Denmark.
I tentatively agree. I think Finland would cause a shock there. But
You think they're going to go second?
I reckon they might, but we'll go with Russia.
You're going to go with Russia? Okay.
Let's go with the head, not the heart.
Yes. Finland third and Denmark fourth. Sorry to any Danish fans out there. So anyway, we've got Group C. We have Austria. I believe that's North Macedonia. I can't remember that correctly. Ukraine and the Netherlands. Again, a no-brainer for me. I think it's going to win this one. I believe it's going to be the Netherlands.
Agreement.
I think Ukraine is strong. I think they are strong. Probably not as strong to win the group, but I think they're strong enough to come second.
Yeah, not as strong as they used to be.
5-7
years ago, but still a strong enough outfit. Solid second. And then Austria and North Macedonia, I think we can all agree pretty much no hopers.
Yeah. I mean, they've made it this far, I suppose that's something for them.
Well, that's it, yeah. They've got their day out in the sun in the groups, but I think as far as it goes.
That's as far as it goes. Yeah, I have to agree. 100%. Now, Group D, of course, our home nation, England.
Wow, the other home nation, the big home nations clash.
Yes, of course. Scotland just north from where we are, of course. Croatia and the Czech Republic. Now, this is quite a tough group. Not the group of death, but it's probably the second closest. So I think it depends how England start against Croatia. If they lose, I think it's going to struggle. They might get second. But if they win, healthy enough. I mean, for what we've seen in the last couple of games, do we think England can win this group?
I mean, I've been speaking a lot to a friend of mine about this, and he's firmly of the opinion England have got the second strongest squad in the tournament. I think I might do that, but that's squad. Definitely not the second strongest first 11. I think we're maybe fourth, fifth when it comes to that. Yeah. But it's a squad game. Football is a squad game.
It is. That's correct.
Our attacking options are unbelievable. We should probably apologise now. We're probably going to dwindle on England a little bit longer, being as we are English.
Yes, of course, yeah, because we're not going to be fully biased and say, yeah, they're going to nailed in. You know, we're not that kind of England fan.
Yeah, we will talk about them a little bit more, mainly because we know the players more.
Yes, of course, 100%. Yeah,
but I think attacking-wise, it's the best we've looked in a very, very long time. Kane, arguably the best striker in the world right now. You've got Sancho, who's just tearing up at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Sterling, he's not had a great season for Man City, but you can't deny he terrifies fullbacks when he's running at them with his pace.
Yeah.
And then obviously Foden, he's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Grealish and Foden are going to be the standout players. Big up to Big Jack. I know my big cluster manager's watching. Yeah, you know, Jack is come on leaps and bounds, and I think he's going to. I think he'll be a standout name at this tournament as well as Foden. 100%.
Well, I would agree with you, but I don't know. Southgate doesn't seem to like him, does he? He doesn't really see him as a first team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
because he would be in my first 11, but it doesn't seem to be for Southgate.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems mad, really, isn't he? He hasn't got that faith in him, has he? That as much as his manager has at home, of course. But yeah, I think that currently going on to this group, of course, I reckon England will finish first. I think if they'll start off well against Croatia. I know the game we had in the World Cup was a semi-final. Croatia played really well in that World Cup. So,
yeah, well, let's not forget Croatia was second at the last World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is no small shakes, is it?
It isn't. I don't think they got battered by France. I think, you know, they were holding their own, and obviously a couple of goals went in, and that was the end of it. They kind of deflated them, didn't it? But yeah, I would go England first, in my opinion. Now, second, I would definitely say Croatia. I think them two are going to be the top two. I know if there's any Scottish fans out there, they're probably going to go like, you know, typical English arrogance. But, you know, I can only go from what I see. And, you know, I wish Scotland luck. I'm not one of those kind of fans that, you know, are, trepid against everything. But I wish them luck. But I think it will be England, Croatia. Do you have any preference to that, do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm in full agreement. England will win the group. I firmly believe that. Croatia second. I hope, actually, Scotland and England to go through, but I think it'll be England and Croatia.
Yeah.
Scotland probably third.
Yeah.
Four. Czech Republic, not really the force they once were. Not a lot of teams, really.
Yeah. I mean, many years ago, Czech Republic would have been up there, wouldn't they? They were battling your likes of your French and your Germans. So, but there we go. So anyway, Group E is up next. You got Spain, Sweden, Poland, and is that Slovakia? Or was it Slovenia? I always get confused. They're very similar flags. But Slovakia, yes, there we go. So, again, I think Spain will win this group.
Yeah, well, this one's a lot more forward, isn't it?
I think we both agree on that one. Now, from what I've seen, I think the Poles are going to put up a fight, you know.
Well, they've got Lewandowski, who is in that argument with Kane to be the current best striker in the world. I probably would say Lewandowski is slightly ahead of Kane, actually, at the minute. Just slightly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lewandowski's getting older, but he's got a heck of a, heck of a striker, isn't he?
That's if he's fit. I heard there were rumours he might not be fit for the Euros, which, would be a devastating blow. It
would be, yeah. So, yeah, I think Poland have got a heck of a chance, especially with Lewandowski in the leading the charge, 100%. So, I'd go for them second.
Yeah, I would as well. No Zlatan, of course, who had announced his unretirement from Sweden, but he is injured.
Yeah.
So he will not be taken to the pitch.
I think Sweden are going to finish last in this group, you know.
Yeah, I do.
I just think there's something about, I think, so we put Slovakia third, of course, and then Sweden into fourth. That group, I think, is itself, really, I think. But I think Poland will do really well at this Euros. Now, this one, I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm going to do that straight away.
I think it makes sense, but the next three, you talk about group of death, you could pick any of those three and then say these are potential winners. And you could say that those three at any tournament, really, couldn't you? Within recent memory, they're always, there or thereabouts towards the latter stages.
Yeah, 100%. I think personally I think French, myself, I believe they've got the strongest team in this tournament. They're very powerful in terms of force. Obviously, got the Mbappe. Benzema's back in the squad. That'd be dangerous, because I think he's so good at Real Madrid to pinpoint areas, and I think it'd be great for Mbappe to play with. And they got Chiante in the middle. Varane. You've got all these players for France who can reel off a World 11. I personally think France would win that group.
It's going to be but I think I agree with you. Yeah. Okay. They're probably my tournament favourites, to be fair, France.
Yeah, I think it is strong. Portugal, Germany could be either one of them. I personally think Portugal would get second because they've still got that influence from Ronaldo, of course, there, even if he doesn't play. They've got a fighting spirit in them, and I think Germany could potentially bend away.
Oh, honestly, I disagree with you on this one.
Oh, okay. Our first disagreement.
Yeah, it is. It is. It took us to the final group to get there, but it's
it did.
Agreement. Right? Okay. It's a tournament. It's Germany. They just get it done. I know Portugal won the last Euros. We should mention that they are the reigning Euros champions.
Yeah.
But I think they're out in the group stages this time.
You think?
He's 4 years older again, and apart from him, do they have any big name players? And they've got a couple of Wolves players for them, but they've not exactly had to set the world alight this season in the Premiership, have they?
No, this is true. You've got Diego Jota, of course, who I stick out. Bruno Fernandes, obviously a very influential player at Man United. So those are the players I kind of look at and I think, okay, there's a chance. But there is, I do agree with you. I think with this group, Germany went out of the World Cup last year. 2008, I keep saying last year. They went out at the group stage. I think they finished bottom of their group, didn't they? Because they just weren't at the races. But obviously, every tournament winner tends to have a bad second tournament. So I think, I'll agree with you on this one. I think Germany will go through. They'll be more prepared for this one. And obviously Portugal. Obviously, we've still got to go through third places, of course. So they could still make it through that. So that's our groups. That looks pretty straightforward to me, to be fair.
I agree with that.
So, yeah. All right. So, obviously, we've got the best third place teams. So, we've got to obviously pick 4 out of these lot now. This is going to be a bit tougher, I think. I believe Portugal will be good enough to do it. I was saying just before the stream started, if they have a bad tournament, let's just say French and the Germans did really well, and Portugal got a win maybe here and there, they might not have the same goal difference as all the other teams. So effectively, it could get knocked out. It literally is a flick of the coin. But I'm holding my hands up and I'll say Portugal would go through.
Okay. Of course, we have to pick 4. So
4.
Yeah. I'd agree with Portugal would be one of those 4 for sure.
Okay.
Because they'd get the guaranteed 3 points really over Hungary.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Scotland are going to be up there.
You can go for Scotland. Okay, cool.
Republic, and I think they might nick a point from either England or Croatia.
Yeah. Especially that game against England, that's so big, for them.
I believe the last time they played England was a 1-1 draw, was it?
I can't remember now. But I know when they play England, there's an extra bit of oomph, isn't there, in their play. I would say, here's my final I would go for Switzerland and Finland.
All right.
In my opinion.
Because you're always going to get a spirited effort from Finland, so I can certainly see them getting there. Yeah, I agree. Let's go with that.
I'll go with that there. So sorry, Austria and Slovakia. You're on your way out. So we go to the next point. So let's go on to it. So obviously it's sorted it all out for us. So we've got our next tournament. So obviously got Belgium, Scotland up first. So obviously, we need to
discuss that one. if that game is plucked, it's going to be a bad, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah. I think Belgium would be too strong. They've got too many well-seasoned players. I just think it'd be too much for Scotland to overcome Belgium. My personal opinion.
Yeah,
So,
fully agree.
yep. So Belgium go through. So then you got Italy and Ukraine, of course. We could go for all the favourites here, but we never know.
You
Don't know
don't
what team's
know.
going to turn up. So,
I mean, looking at them, if there's one favourite that I think is susceptible to a shock, I think it might be this game.
yeah, it's being played at Wembley, so a bit neutral there, so that's good. But yeah, we could see an upset. But we're going by paper from what we've seen. We've heard no upsets. We've heard no stuff like that. So from prediction alone, I'd probably go for Italy still.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So, and that's obviously you can't pull off a shock, of course. So obviously the next one you've got, so you've got the gutsy Finland versus the world-class France. Where's this being played? Let's have a look how it's being. This will be playing Bucharest. So still obviously very neutral. Well, tough game, I think.
It will be tough, but I expect France to run out comfortable winners at the end. Maybe it'll be like a tough first half.
Yeah,
and then France
I agree.
Past them once the Finns tire.
I think so, mate. I think I have to agree with that. So Croatia, Poland. Well, like I say, Poland have come on leaps and bounds. I mean, years ago when they end up in an England group, you'd always say, well, that's an easy 6 pointer, and they'd always turn up and fight. One thing you got with Poland is their players would seem to never give up, you know.
I think that's going to be a good game, a really good game, actually. If we get in the group stages, the knockout stages, sorry.
Yeah.
I think Poland will spring a shock there. I think I think Croatia would go into that match as favourites, but I think Poland would win it.
I agree. I was just about to say I think Poland has shrunk about them this time, and I think Poland would make it through. So yeah, there we go. So far so good. We have got Spain, Switzerland next. That's been playing in Hampden Park in Glasgow, Scotland, of course. So, well, again, see what it is with Spain for me. They still got a little bit about them from yesteryear. You know, this generation that was flying, but we've got new players in there now. I don't know if they're going to be as good as they were before. Maybe another generation. I don't know. I've got a sneaky feeling that Switzerland are going to cause an upset. This will be the biggest upset of the groups or of the tournament at the time. If it works out this way.
We should mention, of course, Spain, who have took no Real Madrid players. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, one of the biggest teams in Spain, just not even there. So, but it just shows how strong everyone else is now. Real Madrid really, especially when Ronaldo left, they needed to build. And I think this is case in point. If they haven't got no Real Madrid players at Spain in the Spain squad, so. But
go on, I'll agree.
You're going to agree?
It's upset. Yeah,
we're going to go for an upset. All right. So, goodness me. Okay. So, the next one, nice easy one. It's being played at Wembley. So, obviously, England will have a little bit of a home advantage. I believe they'll still be doing 50-50 fans anyway, so it's not a completely home advantage, sorry. But again, it's going to be a tough one. It really is.
I mean, England, Germany, it's always a classic every time. And it's, let's face it, it's probably likely to go into penalties if England play Germany in a knockout game.
Exactly, yeah. It's always the case, isn't it? But that's just reminded me, if England do win this group, we are playing one of those teams from that group of death. So that's tough. So
it's almost preferential to come second in the England group then, isn't it?
Yeah. But even then, you'll be playing the Polish, so they might be tough as well. So either way, they're probably more likely to lose to Poland than they would Germany, weirdly enough. Well, do you know what? I wish I was German, because then I could be confident in my answer. But to be honest with you, as an Englishman, I'm not that confident. But I'm going to have to stick with them. I think England will get a victory over Germany for the first time in tournament since, was it 1966?
Yeah.
Or was it Euro 2000 was the last win we had over Germany in a tournament phase, wasn't it? Because they beat us in 2006. But I think we can do it. First time in 21 years.
Yeah, I think so. This year, purely on account of we're strong and Germany are nowhere near as strong as they have been.
No, I agree. Yeah.
They've got Timo Werner up front, who is okay, but he's not exactly set the world alight, has he, at Chelsea this season? He's missed a lot of chances.
He has. First season blues.
I mean, they're so weak. He's obviously still a great player, but they've recalled Muller to the squad.
Yeah.
Who, he's no spring chicken now.
No. Great player in his time.
Yeah, of course. But,
But I agree. Yeah.
So,
there we go. So, there we go, Germany. They apologise. We're not being arrogant. We're just going with it. So, you got Netherlands and Portugal. Again, there's no rest for Portugal here. They've just been in a tournament, a group of death, and now they're up against Netherlands. I think the holders go out.
Yeah, I think this is the end of their run for sure. Netherlands, they've looked good, actually.
They have. Netherlands have always had a good team, haven't they?
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line. So
a few years ago, they looked pretty poor, but they've rebuilt. They're looking good.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So then, obviously, finally, we've got Wales and Russia. Wales, did they take Bale? I'm assuming they did.
They did. He's going to be the main man again, him and Rambo.
Of course. So obviously, got two big players there. You got a bunch of other Premier League players in the Wales squad, no doubt, as well. So they've got a bit of intensity. I think Russia will be tough, but I think Wales would get through. Yeah,
I agree. I think Wales will win this game 2-1.
2-1. Okay, you've gone for an actual score. Nice. And that's being played at in Amsterdam. Cool. So there we go. All right. So obviously we're going on to the quarterfinals now. We've got Belgium versus Italy. This is going to be played. Obviously nothing is in stone. Let me just point that out. This is just a predictions, of course. This will play in Munich. So there we go. But obviously Italy probably a little bit closer to Germany than Belgium is, but I don't think that makes much of a difference really. But tough game. Italy are always going to be a strong team. Belgium have just got a lot of good players. Obviously, we've even suffered lots of injuries the last couple of seasons, so he's not been at the same pace as, say, he should have been when he was at Chelsea. I don't know, man, but they've got De Bruyne, haven't they?
De Bruyne, Romelu.
Lukaku, of course, yeah, Lukaku, a beast. I don't know if Mertens is still playing for them. Obviously, he was great at Napoli when he played against Liverpool in the Champions League. So, Belgium have got a heck of a team. This has stumped me.
This is a tough game. Yeah, I think this one might go to extra time. I think this might go all the way to pens. Actually, okay. It's tough to split these two, but put your neck out. I'd say Belgium.
You're going for Belgium. Yeah, I think if it goes to penalties, I think Italy would succeed. But if it's normal play, I think Belgium.
Yeah.
So I'm going with that. So I've got a little backup plan just in case it goes to penalties. France and Poland are up next. That is being played in St. Petersburg. Is that in Russia? It is. Isn't it? Goodness me. Yeah. So right at the other side of the world for these two teams. Can't see past France. And they've had a gutsy Finland, strong Poles. I still think French would win.
Yeah, they will. I think this is as far as Lewandowski can carry the Poles, unfortunately. It'll be a good game. They'll give it a good go, of course. But yeah, they just won't be up to this task.
No, I completely agree. I think France will get through. So it's going to be a tasty semi there. All right, so the other part of the quarterfinals is Switzerland versus England. This will be played in Rome, Olimpico in Rome. Again, I think Switzerland will be a tough fight. But I believe I think England will have enough to see it through.
Yeah, I mean, on paper we should win that game.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Although I can easily see us losing it, just because it's England and that's what they do in tournaments.
Yes,
but England should win this game.
They should win it. Yeah, I mean, going by our knowledge of an English team, of course, I completely agree. I think Switzerland would probably do us. But as for this, and going by what we've seen and what our predictions, will go for England. Cool. So we're in. And the final one of the quarterfinals, Netherlands versus Wales. I still think there's only one result for me. Let's have a look and see where it's being played. It's playing in Baku. Wow, okay. So obviously, again, another one. I think Netherlands will be too strong for Wales. I think Wales will be tough, and I think they'll probably take the lead. But Netherlands are the Netherlands, man. There's just something about them, their magic.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, if they take the lead, it's a whole different ball game. Wales will sit back there and try and park the bus.
Yeah, this is true.
I I can't see it myself. I think it'll be a straightforward Netherlands win, probably 2-3-0.
Okay. Fair dues, yeah. So we're going to stick with the Netherlands. All right, so 2 tasty semis, very strong teams all throughout, especially on paper. So the first semi-final was Belgium-France, and that will be played at Wembley in London. Well, goodness me. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. What do you reckon?
For me, if I hadn't looked at the fixtures and done this predictions, that would have been my final.
Okay.
In my book, they're the 2 strongest teams.
Yeah.
So to call the semi, it's tough. Very tough. I'd say France.
Go for France.
I think it's their team. I think Belgium had their chance at the last World Cup when they had more or less the same team, a little bit younger. They were looking really good, and they kind of threw it away.
Yeah. And obviously France overcame them, of course, didn't they?
Yeah, of course.
So, I think could be a repeat. Belgium obviously will want revenge, of course. But I think France, again, I think that'd be too tough.
They're just too strong.
Yeah, that team is just so good at the moment, isn't it? So we've got our first finalist, and that's France. And obviously got England, Netherlands in the semi-final. Ooh. So do I go with my head or do I go with my heart? Which tells me man. Okay. Where's it been played at? It's been played. Okay, so both Wembley. Okay, the semi-finals, aren't they? Goodness me. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say England do it. I must be mad. I just think the Netherlands will come in favourites, of course. In England, they won't be.
I don't think so. No. In terms of the book, I think England would be the favourites in that game.
Yeah. Oh, you do all that more than I do. So
even just Premier League players out of the England squad.
Yeah, true.
It's just on paper, it's a stronger team.
Yeah.
However, I think Netherlands will win that game.
You do. Ooh, okay. So your reason. We'll go by reasons, and then we'll compare and see what we'll go with.
Well, Netherlands is a strong team. They've been there, done that. England obviously haven't been there and done that since '66. Semis is as far as they go. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been.
Team semi. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Since we've been watching it. So my plunk for England, I suppose, I think they'd have a bit of momentum. They'd see it as obviously a bit of a chance to go forward and prove to everybody that they can do it. And I think they've got a strong team to do it. They're young, they're hungry. But again, it's hard to argue against the semi-final flops.
And I'll tell you more about the England centre-backs. The England squad is very strong all the way through, apart from the centre-backs. A team like Netherlands can take advantage of.
Yeah.
I've also got, Grealish not being in the first choice starting 11. I've got an issue with that. I think that might cost us because he should be.
Yeah.
He's a strong enough player that he should be.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to concede. And I agree because I think that is the decision. I think that Southgate, he's obviously took that, what was it, 4 right backs at one point, I think. Obviously, Trent's fell out. But he's obviously went for Ben Smith next. He's gone all defensive, hasn't he? He does look very defensive, his team. And I think if Netherlands can penetrate that, I don't know if England can get through it. So I'm gonna concede and I'm gonna go for Netherlands as well then.
And also, of course, Southgate loves Sterling, and who's guaranteed to be in the first place. But there is no way on this season's form you can justify Sterling starting ahead of a Foden, a Mount, a Sancho, a Grealish.
Yeah, I think it's too much, isn't it? It's a shame because I think if Grealish turned up in a game like this and performed, my goodness, it wouldn't just be like your Man United sniffing around him. It'd be like your bigger team, like your Real Madrid would think, oh, so imagine seeing him in a Real Madrid shirt. I think he'd kill it. He'd kill it in Spain. But anyway, that's another talk for another day. So we're going for Netherlands. Oops, excuse me. So we've got France and the Netherlands. Obviously, the final will be played in Wembley Stadium in London. So it's again huge game. You've just got the Netherlands after a big fight against England, who were on paper great, of course, but they've took advantage of that. They've got France now who are steamrolling ahead, got the confidence, and I dare say arrogance, which they would have earned. So I get that. I think that, again, I think France would end up winning this.
Yeah, I fully agree. As I think I said, they were my pick at the start.
Yeah.
None of these predictions have changed my mind. I can certainly see it going their way, as long as they get through the group of death, of course, which is probably going to be their major issue at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, France for me in the final. It won't be an easy game, of course. It's going to be the Euro final.
Yeah, of course.
Winning 3-1. That's going to be my final prediction.
Your prediction. I reckon France will win again, obviously. We went for that. I reckon they'll win 2-0. I don't even think Netherlands even score against France. I think they'll lock it down. So, that's I'm happy with that. You're happy with that?
I am.
So we think French are going to be Euro winners, just like they did in 98 and 2000. Be a repeat of that, of course. The French Revolution has come round yet again.
So if you're a betting man, get your money on the French. You've got the Frost Seymour guarantee that it might happen.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Just make sure you go one with the cash out option. But that's the way it is. So that's pretty much it, really. I mean, obviously we've discussed briefly about the prediction, the tournament. Obviously, is there any kind of out of the teams we've discussed, you think there's going to be any surprise teams, or who's going to be your surprise team, if anything, before we close the show?
Poland for me would be my surprise team.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they'll be unlucky if they meet France where we've put them, and I think if they can avoid that, I think they might get to the semis.
Yeah. I was about to mention Poland myself, to be fair. I think, like I said many moons ago, we'd have Poland in the thing, and everyone say, yeah, easy 3 points. Yeah, you had your Sheringham and Shearers banging in 3 or 4 goals against them. But Poland over the years have become stronger. And I think as a nation, they're strong. So I think that'll push them forward. But yeah, they'll be the surprise squad, I think, as well. I agree.
Who do you think will be the Golden Boot winner?
Ooh, good question. Do you know what? I think I'm going to get that momentum up, apart from the final. It'll be between Mbappe and Kane.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Mbappe because he's got an extra game. And I think these games are slightly easier than the English ones.
Okay. I'm going to throw a curveball and say Lukaku.
Ooh, okay. So our prediction has Lukaku in the semis, yep. So, he has plenty of games to do it.
And of course, Belgium's group, as we saw earlier, looks the most winnable for all the big teams. They should.
Of course. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah, very good shout. So there you go. So if you're a betting man, Lukaku and Mbappe, put them on both. 5 on each. You never know. So it could be one of them two. Obviously, Kane as an outsider there. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. To be fair, Nick, anything you'd like to add?
I think so. No, obviously, if you're not lucky enough to get tickets, we're going to be with you throughout the tournament. You are red hot takes.
Red hot takes, indeed. We're going to be live after every match day. So obviously, there is going to be a certain amount of match days, of course. We'll only be coming live for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. So obviously, we're not going to keep you going because obviously everyone's got like, work in the morning. But yeah, so we're going to be joining you on that. Obviously, the first game starts tomorrow. If we can work around it, we might do a watch along. Depends if we get enough love from the fans. If they want to watch along, we will do it. We'll go from there. So we're going to give our reviews and it'd be interesting. I can't wait for this tournament. I think we needed this tournament, especially now anyway. So yeah, big game starts tomorrow. Italy, Turkey. Yeah, so there we go. All right. So did I say it?
Good luck to all the teams. And
indeed. Yeah, all the best. And I'm not even going to say come on England because what's the point? Yes, we don't want to be biased. Exactly right. Yeah, we're not like that. We're quite open-minded. But when it comes to Liverpool, I might be slightly a bit biased. But other than that, no. Yeah, so anyway, enough yapping. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. And hopefully you'll join us tomorrow night for our review of our first European game. All right.
Okay.
Catch you down the way, man. See you later.